Well, welcome. This is our first training video that we're doing, and this one is going to be on making connections. And first I want to say thank you to all of you guys who signed up to help, and just realize you are not babysitting. We are actually helping to disciple the next generation, coming alongside parents and just pointing them to Jesus. And we know we have no ability to transform their hearts, but He does. So we're through prayer and just giving it to God. We are just willing vessels who are in these rooms. So just know that it matters. And so we just, first of all, thank you. So making connections. There's three ways we want to talk about today about making connections. And the first way is connecting with the child's heart. And so and the second one is connecting with God's Word, the child with God's Word. And the third one is connecting with families. We really want to connect with them. So when we just talk about connecting with a child's heart, we really want to first start with their name. As you get in their classroom, get to know every kid's name. And when they first come in the room, getting down to their level, because we're so big and they're so little, depends what classroom you're serving in, but sometimes the kids are taller than you. But a lot of times these kids are so small, and so non-threatening, getting down, hey, Susie, how are you today? And getting down to their level and greeting them just makes them feel welcome and safe and nurtured. And so as you're connecting to the child's heart, also just join them where they're at. So they're going to want to maybe come to the train table or the Lego table or some activity you have going on. So you want to join them where they're at. And so just go there and get to know them, ask them questions. It's purposeful play. It's not just, oh, they're busy, so let's just leave them there. It's really purposeful. It's building relationships so they can learn about Jesus and you can learn about them, and it's just a win. We want these kids to know that they are loved as we work with them. So just spending time with them and getting to show them who Jesus is and how awesome He is, and He's worthy of following. And so that's our main goal. So the other way is connecting the child with God's Word. And our curriculum is just saturated with God's Word, which we're so grateful for. And there's so many visuals for that. But we really want the lessons and activities to just impact these children. So praying over those lessons and activities. But then I'll tell you, especially with the younger kids, motions and repetitiveness is key. And so if you can make motions to go with something or act it out, it is key. And just repetitive. Our curriculum is repetitive, and it always goes back to the gospel. And I'm not going to apologize for that, because we should be saying the gospel to ourselves every single day, many times a day. So, and have fun. Change your voice when you're doing it. Make it, well, we're going to whisper this memory verse, or we're going to say it really loud, but have fun with it. So that motion, that excitement, that fun, and we're just serving Jesus, and it's supposed to be fun. These kids should know this. And so that's why it really helps when you're just giving it to God before you even come here. There's three barriers. I just want to stop right now. There's three barriers that causes you to not connect with the kid's heart, and they are the phone, other adults, and not being prepared. And I get it. I have a phone, and it can be very distracting. And so I just would recommend you put it on silent and put it somewhere in the classroom so it is just off. Unless you need it for emergency, you are just there to invest in that hour and 15 minutes you might have with a kid. So just put the phones down. I just highly recommend it. Other adults, we want you to be part of the team. We want you to engage. That's why we want you to get there early, or when you're staying after, that's the time. But when we only have precious hours, an hour with these kids, that's the time to join them. That's the time to not, just sit and talk to adults and let the kids, they're good at the train table. No, we got to invest in them, and every moment matters. And so taking advantage of those mundane opportunities, we have them in our house all the time, but they're important. And so I just want to caution you on those three barriers: the phone, other adults, and not being prepared. When kids come in and you're looking at the lesson thinking, what am I going to do today? You're missing it, the mark. You're not ready for them. And also what happens when you're prepared, I promise you, every time I've had to teach a class and I'm prepared, I've already looked at the lesson, man, I've gotten in the Word. God is doing a work in me. I am just full of the Spirit, and I am ready to go. And so it always goes better when you're prepared, for you and the kids. So those are my three barriers that I just want to make sure you know. And then the last one is connecting with families. I mean, our primary role is to help disciple the next generation, coming alongside families. And these families, sometimes it's hard for them. They appreciate the fact that their kid can go somewhere safe, but also we want to love on their families. So praying for those families. We're going to have a prayer card that we'll have a drop box in the East Wing and also by the nursery and twos, that you can, hey, when the parents come, say, hey, anything we can pray for this week, and they can drop that in that box and feel safe. If there's nobody at the counter and it's just you and them, I am always I've learned that I'll say, oh, I'll pray for you, and I never do. So I also, if there's nobody there and there's no line, and you say, and they tell you, hey, will you pray for this? And you have no one else in line, you go and you pray right then and there, and you just put your arm around them and you pray. But otherwise, they have an avenue to put their prayers in, and they will be held. It won't be gossip or anything like that. It'll just be lifted up to the Lord, and us leaders will get those, and we promise we'll pray. And you as volunteers or leaders yourself can put one in there, and we'll pray for you also. Just know that. And so just want to make sure you know that. Another way that we really want to engage with the families is we want to just, if there's time, say something positive and they pick up. And if you do have something to say about discipline or something, pull aside privately, not embarrassing them, and be, man, I get it. You know, raising kids, it is difficult, but boy, is God awesome. And so pulling them aside privately, or getting one of us leaders, if we have to call later in the week. But if you can say something positive, and even if it's just, we are so glad you're here. You are welcome here. And even if it's that kid who's just really difficult, transitions don't go well, man, we're glad you're here, because they're not always welcomed everywhere. And so we want everyone to feel loved. We want everyone to feel just a part of things. So just if you could end with that. I wanted to say too, something we do with connecting with families is, if they're new, they'll get a welcome folder, which has all the brochures for children's ministry, and it has a thing of popcorn in there and just different things the parents need to know. But then in your class, you'll have this bag to give to your students, and it has a fun ball in there, and it has a little track for them, and it's just a thanks for coming, thanks for popping in, we're glad you're here. And with that, we always have the teachers in the class, or even the teenage helpers or whatever, you write a postcard to them. We'll mail this for you. You don't have to worry about their address or anything like that. You just get it signed. Thanks for coming. We're so glad you're here. And we also are going to have postcards for all kids. We would like every kid to get a postcard throughout the year, at least one time. Then we just write an encouraging note, and us as staff members, we will get that to them that week. But man, kids to get mail is so exciting. So just know we're going to be doing that. That's another way to connect with families. So just to wrap this part up of connecting with a child's heart, connecting with God's Word, and connecting with families, I just want to say you make a difference. And if you come just prayerfully surrendering, and I'm going to tell you what, you are going to grow more than you're going to give. Always. It's always true. And God's going to do mighty things. But just know we're called to connect. We're called to be in relationship. So thanks for watching the video. And keep yourself in the Word and on your knees, and watch what God does. Thanks again.